Welcome. Thank you for joining our REMI model training series. Hi, everyone. I'm Jungjun Park, an economist at REMI, who will walk you through what tax PI can do, along with how it does estimate economic and fiscal impact in tax PI, considering what if policy questions. I'm so happy to have this training with you today. Let me briefly introduce myself before getting down to our job today. I've taught economics and finance classes at Claremont and UC Riverside in Southern California before joining REMI. So I just left academia to join REMI recently. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer you even after this session. You can always reach me at jungjun.park, so Jungjun.Park. So Jungjun has both N of Nancy, again, Jungjun.Park, P-A-R-K, at remi.com. Well, that's pretty much for the instruction. Now, let's just start with what I'm going to discuss today in general. Okay, so let's briefly go over agenda. So for the introduction, I'll talk a little bit of REMI's history. That is, I'll discuss what REMI has done so far and what REMI can do for you. Also, I'll discuss what if policy questions about a little bit. And of course, I'll do overview of tax PI. So I'll discuss there some basic ideas of tax PI. And then I'll briefly touch model structure. I wouldn't spend much time as I did for the PI Plus model. So I believe you may have heard about it a little bit before, or you spent some time with me already 2 weeks ago. But this is important for us to understand our models. So I'll briefly again touch model structure a little bit. And then major economic data sources, if time permits, but highly likely I'll skip that because I want to focus more on model demonstration today. So for that, I'll have live model demonstration to explore two impact studies. And we'll discuss that later. And of course, after everything done, I'll have some Q&A time. So you can just freely ask me if you have any questions, what I will have done for today. Okie dokie. So first, a little bit of REMI. Okay, so as you know, we're the model provider in terms of economic and policy modeling. So we have three, we could have more missions, but mainly we have three missions. First, we develop our software, and so we develop tools that are the industry standard for rigorous policy analysis. And we have PI Plus and Transight, and Tax PI and E3 Plus, the Metro PI, and recently we developed IQ, which is you can play our models in terms of short-term perspective estimation, like quarterly based estimate. So it will be very interesting for you to play with it later. Okay. And then we also do support part. So once you have our models, then you have unlimited access to full remote technical support and model assistance. So as users, you would have a lot of resources to enhance your understanding and skills in the model. Lastly, We also provide services such as macroeconomic impact consulting services, and mostly led by our team of highly experienced and qualified research economists. These are main missions we provide. And actually, what really we do here is to answer what if questions about the economic and demographic effect of events and policies. So that will bring two major results in the end, right? So you will see, so you kind of expect to have some changes in employment by industry or by occupation, or you could expect to see some changes in output by industry and gross regional or state product, and some changes in personal incomes and changes in total wages and compensation earnings. That's what you're gonna see after doing simulations using our models. Also, there could be some differences in results through the population and migration. Okay, so we've done this for the last 40 years. So we have 40 years of history doing rigorous academic research and software development, which has led to development of the industry standard in macroeconomic research methodology. But we have four main approaches to build up our models. First, we have this input-output matrix that can examine close analysis of inter-industry relationships. And second, we are using general equilibrium approach. If you guys ever taken Econ 101, you might have heard this concept. So what general equilibrium does is basically it does estimate long-run stability of economy, right? That does allow for the analysis of policy decisions. And third, we used the econometrics approach that has the advanced statistical analysis. And lastly, we include economic geography into the model so that we could see the effect of geographic concentration of labor and industry. So sort of we can understand why some specific regions have some clusters of labor and industry compared to other regions. Okay, so based on these four different approaches, we have eventually derived the integrated REMI economic modeling approach. And that's pretty much about how we set up our approach in terms of modeling. And we have, TaxPI especially is a versatile tool for public policy and fiscal impact analysis across topic and regions. So we've done many studies for our clients, and we also have customized the TaxPI models for our clients as well. So we've done something like we could a lot more than this, but we could narrow down so that you can easily see what's been done so far. So we've done aerospace tax credit analysis for the Washington area and some statutory impact analysis for taxes, corporate tax analysis for Maryland, and Medicaid expansion analysis in North Carolina, and so on. Okay. So I want to briefly talk about what topics or studies you can do with TaxPI. So again, tax PI is the only commercially available dynamic macroeconomic and fiscal impact analysis tool or model. So tax PI does allow users to go beyond static analysis and be more informed on the relationship between a budget and its economic foundation. So probably, mostly, tax PI can answer the following questions. For example, a comprehensive tax policy can positively or negatively alter the course of region's future of its economy. And before the effects of tax reform take hold, we can think about what if questions on dynamic fiscal analysis that can provide guidelines for the designated costs and benefits. So, and in addition, as you can understand, taxes work as a revenue stream for local and state federal government entities. And dynamic fiscal analysis is a valuable tool in lawmakers' arsenals for understanding and expecting changes in their financial surplus. So there could be many different possible topics and studies on tax reform and fiscal legislations. Okay, so I want to briefly touch what this diagram tells us. Maybe again, maybe you've heard it before, you've seen it before, but this is really about how model works, okay? And we call it model linkages, and it has really 5 building blocks. As you can see, it has first block is output and demand. So if you think about, again, Econ 101, this really tells us output here. Output must be equal to consumption, C, plus investment, I, and plus spending, G, and plus net export here, just export we have. And then this really tells how output could be generated for that specific region. And okay, and we have second block, labor and capital demand, their employment and labor productivity, and optimal capital stock. So for here, optimal capital stock is some required level of stock for the specific region. So there's a difference between optimal capital stock and capital stock, level of capital stock the region has. So the difference must be, filled by the investment, new investment, or the new investment, the amount of new investment that should be required for the future. And third, population and labor supply. Of course, there's population. You could talk about participation rate or labor force, but interestingly, we have this migration element in it. So that's why we could have this dynamic impact using our models. And then the fourth building block is compensation, prices and costs, and lastly, market shares. So far I talked about the main building blocks, right, for the PI plus. So then we could add for these further elements here, right, to build up our tax PI model. So if you think about housing price, consumer price here, and production costs, and real disposable income. So we have tax issue, right? We have property tax on housing price and sales tax So whether increase in sales tax or decrease in sales tax, that would certainly have impact on consumer prices, right? And also corporate income tax, and that will probably directly connected to production costs. Lastly, income tax, of course, if too much income tax probably will discourage our labor. Willing to participate in working for our jobs, or so there's some these complex interconnections. So to understand this, that's why we build up TaxPI, and TaxPI enables us to do our own customized study so that we can intuitively easily understand the outcomes after running simulations. Okay, then let me briefly talk about modeling process review. So we'll do it together today. The first step is to we have to calibrate the budget items. So we have certain budget items for both sides, revenues perspective and expenditures perspective. So once you have those items, you will have to input those numbers into the model, okay? Manually, of course. And then once you're done those input process, then you can now run or build your own simulations. For this, of course, you have to bring up your own what if policy questions, such as like there could be some scenarios, like there could be some increases in sales taxes or increases in minimum wage or decreases in minimum wage extra, like thousands of what if questions we can think of. And then once you've done your once you've done your simulation, and you will see your dynamic result of your own study. Okay? And yeah, that's pretty much about TaxPI modeling process. Okay. All right. So there could be some direct or indirect fiscal impact, right? So because of that, you will see some changes in business personal incentives. Then again, you observe some behavioral responses accordingly, right? Responses to changes in business personal incentives. Then also you will see some changes in tax base and spending determinant. So then, after going all through these chain reactions, we will eventually see some changes in tax and spending. Okay. All right then. Then now let's talk about how to actually use TaxPI model as our final stage. I'll briefly go over TaxPI model and explore together how it works based on what if questions. And for this, I'll examine two impact studies. First, what will happen if there's an increase in sales tax? And second, what will happen if there's an increase in minimum wage? It just shows these what if questions because I want to give you some clear and concrete idea of using this model, and of course intuitively easier. So you can of course make your own scenarios based on your needs or your demand. But today I'll go over these two ideas as my own scenarios. All right, great. Basically, what I'm going to do is to show that we can create what if questions as scenarios to see what the economic consequences might be, okay, after running simulations. And let's then explore them now. Before I start using a model, let's just give you, so basically, once you open the text PI model, you will see this as your home page. We'll see it with live demonstration. Don't worry. I just want to make sure we have one more slide at the end. Here we go. Hold on. Yeah, I added these revenues and numbers, figures for revenues, expenditures. I brought it from, I believe, these numbers come from the Colorado General Assembly. So I'm going to use these numbers. Later, you can, try your own by plugging these numbers into the model as well. So I just added these numbers on this slide. Okay. All right, then. Yeah, after this, I will have Q&A time. Then let's okay. So just here we go. Alrighty, then let's bring up the model now. Okay. Maybe I just need down then. Yeah, let's get to the home page first. Okay. So this is it. This is exactly what it looks like when you open your model the first time. Okay. Let me just make it maybe a little larger so you guys can. Okay. So this is TaxPI version 2.4 model. Okay. So I'm not quite sure how much you guys are familiar with TaxPI, but when you use I'm not quite sure how familiar you're with PI Plus model. When you use TaxPI model, it's a bit different. Of course, at the end, it will be very closely similar, but then, so the first step should be for using this model is to click on budget. Here, there's some buttons, right? The other buttons are very close to PI Plus, but it has special button here, the budget. Okay, so what we are trying to do here is that we are trying to enter the numbers we have, right, for your region. Then we can try to create new regional control in some sense. Okay. But unlike PI Plus, we have to go through, play with the budget first. Then we'll be able to create new regional control. So let me first click on budget. Okay. Then so I have some previous study. Don't worry about this. And after that, you see this add new budget button up here, and click on it. So we have something here, new budget 1, right? So make things clear, you can click on the right button of your mouse and you can rename it. So say maybe project project. Okay, then here we go. Okay, so I really hope you're good so far. Then once you you have your own budget, you double click on it. Okay, let me go back one more time. So once you rename your budget, and because we're gonna play for a while with this budget, so double click on it. Okay, and as you can see here, options button, right? We are already on it. So you have to modify accordingly based on when your fiscal year starts. So because I'm using the, what to say, I'm using the Colorado model. So for Colorado, I believe the fiscal year starts in July. Okay, so this got to be modified, changed by you, okay, whenever you have to. Of course, some states have different fiscal year, but mostly I believe that July is the first month of the fiscal year. I'll just leave it here as units, nominal $1 million as units, okay? Then we have right? I'll click on budget button here. So now you'll see that we have two items here. One, revenues, two, expenditures. But first, I'll play with revenues, okay? So what I'm doing here, again, you actually enter your budget numbers for each budget item. But for simplicity, here I'll only add 3 items for revenues, and I'll add 2 items for expenditures. But first, okay, you can go for revenue first or for expenditures. Depends on your preference. But I'll go for revenues first, and I'll start with adding revenue items here. You see the plus sign here, add revenue, click on it. Now, you see you now have new revenue 1, then I'll change the name as well here. I'll probably call it as sales tax. Okay. Okay, so for safety, I'm gonna input just for fiscal year 2018 and 2019. Okay, and then I'll add one more, which is individual income tax. Individual income tax. Oops. Okay, and let's add one more item. Okay, so here corporate tax. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, so as I told you, we have certain data, right? Some numbers at the end of our slide deck. After today's session, probably you'll be able to receive it. So you can use the numbers if you wish to, or you can bring your own numbers depends on your region. Okay, so I have a number here, $3,236,000,000. Sorry. Okay, I'll just input first, and then 334 and $7,577,000,000 and 847 and $782 million for corporate income tax and $920 million for fiscal year 2019. Okay, fine, perfect. And so we are not done yet. Thing is, you see for each item, the budget items you added now, you see this, the button that has a pencil shape. if you click on it, for these items, I mean budget items, we need to consider indicator and policy variable that are relevant to our budget item. Okay. And so, for example, oops. So for that, I'll go first for the indicator. Okay. So you click on indicator here, and again indicator and economic indicator for sales tax. Don't worry too much about why I choose this indicator, that policy variable for this specific budget item. Okay, we are more than happy to help you whenever you use our models. We are there, we're there to support and help, for your customized study. Of course, for this, I'll briefly give you the reason why I have to choose. So for the sales tax, right, I'm going to choose. You can, of course, use the drop box, but if you know, I'm going to pull up. Oops. Okay, I'm going to choose, sorry, okay, here. I'm going to choose personal consumption expenditures. Okay, good. Okay, so basically for the indicator, we are choosing something, what drives your budget item. So in this case, I believe personal consumption expenditures can drive sales tax, right? Because we spend more and probably there'll be more sales, and then can think about whether it could be increases on in sales taxes. Okay, so that's why I'm choosing now personal consumption expenditures. Okay then, right, good. And save every time you, okay. You cancel, all right, sorry, not duration, no. I said, okay. Oops, let me get back to it. What's going on? Okay, indicator, sorry about that. Okay, oh, we have it, okay. Then, you have these, many different cells down here. So I'm just gonna briefly, touch this. So 100 here, number, means it has 100% correlation with personal consumption, I mean sales tax. So if I change here some numbers, I could change some numbers, replace this 100 by 0. That means one of these items will not be taxed, no relations with being taxed. Okay, so you see all these 100 for now. For simplicity, let's keep them just as they are. Okay, wouldn't bring much difference in the end for now. Okay, and again, I chose personal consumption expenditures for indicator, and the policy variable. Okay, then something like, think about this way, if sales tax goes up, we probably could expect production cost will go up as well, but then eventually consumer price will go up. So I'm gonna take this consumer price here as for the policy variable. Again, likewise, I'll just keep all these numbers as 100. I don't modify anything here for simplicity. Okay, so now we can save. Okay, it's done. And again, same steps for the need to be done for individual income tax and corporate income tax. So I'll make a little quick. So I want to give you the result. So again, for the so that was individual income tax, and the indicator might be, so choose indicator. So let's choose personal income. Okay. Oops. Okay, so here personal income. All right, here we go. Okay, and then save. Oops, I don't know what's happening. Let me just indicator personal income. Okay, and then for the policy variable, let's choose personal taxes. Here we go, and then save. Good. So we are done. This item is all set to go. And last one, for the revenue side, we have individual. So corporate income tax, click on it, and indicator. So I'm going to choose value added because the forms will be on the text for value added part. So I'm going to take value added. Okay, there we go. And then for the policy variable, okay, I'll just again keep them as they are now. And policy variable, probably production cost. Also, likewise, I'll just keep these numbers as they are for now. So save. Okay, I want to just double check with individual income tax. Okay, we are good. All right, so don't forget save them. Oops. Okay, so these are just halfway done, right? Why? Because we have to add some numbers on the expenditures side as well. So likewise, like I said, I'm gonna add two items. First, education. Okay, and one more items, healthcare. Oops. Okay. I have numbers, right? So I'm gonna enter them. And fine. And little bigger number here for healthcare, as you can expect. $10 billion, another $10 billion. All right. Okay, again, we are not done, right? So for this expenditures side, also we need to consider this indicator and policy variable as well, right? So, okay, so let me just click on this button that has a shape, pencil shape on it. All right, an indicator. Okay. Education, I should put popular. Oops. Sorry, yeah, I'm gonna choose population, 1 year age cohort for the indicator. But if you think about, so now we think about education, right? So, but this, we gotta modify a few things here. First, from age 0 to 4, I'll make everything 0. For that, you can use the calculator here by clicking on the right side, right button of your mouse, then calculator and make 0. Oops. Oh gosh. All right, here we go. Why? Because they're not having public education for those age group, right? That's why you make everything 0. Likewise, after 23, okay, because they are not relevant for the public education. So in general, okay, everything 0. Alrighty, good. Okay, that's what you can do. You have to do actually. All right. So okie dokie, and save. I'm not sure what is going on. Every time I save, it's gone. Don't worry. I'm not sure. Okay, here we go. Okay. And for the policy variable, of course, you only have phase 1 choice. So that's a spending. Okay. So, all right, then save. And last item, healthcare. Of course, you for the indicator, you also choose population cohort, 1 year age cohort. But don't worry about this. You don't need to modify anything for this part. And for the policy variable, again, same thing, spending. Okay, and save. Okay. Okay, I think we are good for now. So, like I said, do not worry much about the indicator or policy variable for now. We'll have support you when customize your study using our models. And so then once you're done, okay, then now let's create a new regional control. So let's just hold on. I'm gonna save it. Okay. Okay. The expenditures determined by demand revenue. Okay, don't worry too much about this for now. Let's just, okay, all right. Okay, I need to save. Okay, then, so now we are done to create our own regional baseline, sort of. So what you have to do is now, okay, so let's get back to home. And now let's hit the button on new regional control. Okay. Okay. And then forecast option, because we're gonna run simulation here. But here, this is tricky part. So here on the left, upper part here, you have budget name, right? So you will see your own budget, which we named as project. Okay. And make sure you disable balanced budget feedback, because we are not looking something, everything should be in balanced budget. Okay. All right, then we are good to go. So now I'm gonna hit this yellow guy here. I'm gonna run simulation or forecast. Okay, so I think, all right, good to go. So now we created our own regional baseline. If I click on this, so we have this forecast sort of up to fiscal year 2060, and then okay, that's what revenues look like. depending on different items. That's the yellow one is for individual income tax, blue is for sales tax, and the orange is for corporate income tax. So you can just check them out later, okay? But don't forget, we just done creating our own regional, forecast, a baseline, right? So, oh, no, I need to, okay, before you move on, okay, just to be consistent, let's write as um, project control now, okay? Okay, so once you save it, then you can check these on now on view forecast, right? You have that, right? Now, you have your own control now, right? Using your own numbers, okay? Alrighty, we have not done simulation yet, right? So how you do it? Well, again, so once you click on it, yeah, right, you're on your own control, then hit this new simulation button. Okay. All right, then let me do it. Okie dokie. So then you will see this screen, this window. So my what if policy question is to see some increase in sales tax. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the revenue changes here because I'm going to give some shocks now, either to revenue side or expenditure side. So, but for us, I'm going to give some shock on to revenue side. So I'm going to click on it. Okay, and then okay, we already customized revenues, and I'm going to select that. Now you see we have 3 different items, right? Based on what we've done so far. But again, I'm going to think of the scenarios as to increase sales tax. Here we go. I'm click on it. And that's Colorado and units. Nominal, I'm thinking to, let's say we'll see $100 million increase in sales tax. Okay. That scale of millions, right? So once we are done, I'm going to add this to the editor. Okay, then now we'll see the some Excel shape so that we can edit values as you wish to. Okay, so click on edit values. Okie dokie. All right. So how they have, okay, 2 different, they split the fiscal year. So let's just start with, we'll expect to see some increases in sales tax from 2021. Okay. I know it's not realistic because probably we'll see some decreases in sales tax, but always increases more easier to understand intuitively. So again, if you want to change some numbers, hit the right button on your mouse and then go for calculator. Okay, so I was thinking an increase of $100 million, but now we have 6 month time slot, so I'll probably add 50. Okay. Okay, here we go. So I've done as I wished to do, and then once you enter your number, then add input. Okay. Okay, we're almost done, right? Then the next step is you're gonna run your own simulation now, right? Because you already given a shot, right? So let's hit the forecast options, and Okay, then one forecast. Okay, you see now, see, you see some numbers here, right? After simulation, I'm running simulation. So from 2021 fiscal year. So for the, I mean, probably we have $48 billion dollars here because of this. We're talking about probably the latter 6 month, I think, not former 6 month. So the first, so yeah, second 6 month, like second half, second year, of the year. So that's why we have 48. Then now you have see 9 million, 95. Okay, okay. So we can, so these numbers, as you can see, so compared to what you have, right, on your own baseline. I mean, your own forecast based on your numbers input. All right. Okay. Interestingly, we see some expenditures decreasing a little bit. Okay. Okay. All right. Then, sorry, I'm getting some emails. Then, if I go back to some other stuff, for example, you could click on snapshot, and you could have some economic summary. Right? As you can see, if there's sales increase, I mean, increase in sales tax, probably highly likely you will see some decreases in total employment and population, of course, probably some firms or some people, getting out of that specific region, so doing, migrate to other areas for better economic opportunities, and also decreases in output, decreases in value added, and also decreases in real disposable income. We only see increase in price index, and then also you can click on analytics or impact profile, or maybe if you click on detailed economy, that's more interesting. So you can see GDP profile, so how different industry could be impacted in a different way. So you could see something like this from 2021. For example, personal consumption, expenditure, net trade, good private domestic fixed investment, some of the stuff. Also, employment by industry. So you can, so maybe natural resources, not much, but more on retail wholesale. And then finance, insurance, in real estate, interesting. And also you get the production output by different industry, demand by, let's just click on industry profile. Okay, nothing much here. Okay, maybe then industry profile, same thing, sorry about that. Employment profile by industry. Okay, so of course we could expect some decreases in employment in total, especially we've seen this. Okay, maybe I'll probably not be able to proceed to the second impact study because it's already 11:55. In the meantime, if you have questions, or hold on, let me bring this. Okay, so let's go back then. Maybe you can save it for the last time. So like project oops, project study, probably impact study, or maybe 100. In sales tax increases. Oops, not $100, right? To be precise, $1 million. So if you click on OK, and then if you go back to now view forecast, sorry about that. Yeah, now you have it here. So simply click on it and you can look at your study. All right. Okay. Okay. I'm really sorry. It took some time longer than I expected. Okay, let me just. Okay. Okay, thank you so much for joining this training session. And I'm more than, like I said, I'm more than happy to answer your questions. So please address your concerns or questions even after this session. Again, you can always reach me at my email, Jungjun, Jungjun .park at REMI.com. So you can just shoot me an email, okay? I'm more than happy to answer your questions. Again, thank you so much, because I don't see any question for now. But again, if you have it, please send it to me, okay? After, doesn't matter today, tomorrow, whenever you have questions about tax PI. So please, I'm more than happy to answer your questions in the future. Again, thank you so much for joining this training session. I really wish you have a wonderful day, and see you then. Talk to you later. Take care. Bye-bye.